Welcome to Change, sponsored by the Senior Barn of Schaumburg, where nutritious meals, friendly peers, and social activities take part every day under the good direction of Marina Lvovich, and the cost and the location is available to everyone. I'd like to introduce our panel today. We have Marion Bellhouse, but lives in Hoffman Estates, and she took a little bit of time off today from preparing for a 50th birthday party for her daughter this evening. And we have Anna Mae Smith, and Anna Mae is saving all her bingo money for a special occasion. And then we have Elfie Marolis, and she has come back from San Diego, where it was rainy and warm, to be with her friends in cold and snowy Schaumburg. Welcome.
I'm happy.
You are.
I'm happy.
Very good. Thank you all for coming. Our last program that we had was on tradition, and we found that tradition was a way of handing down through the generations, a way of doing things. And the people of the past, they also used traditions as a way to organize their life. Washing on Monday really is an English tradition that came over with the women on the Mayflower. The very first thing that they did when they landed was wash their clothes. And the tradition became a ritual. And 200 years later, Laura Ingalls Wilder, who wrote The Little House on the Prairie, she said that her ma and the pioneer women said every day had its own proper chore. There was washing on Monday, Tuesday was ironing, mending on Wednesday, churning or kitchen on Thursday, cleaning on Friday, baking on Saturday, and resting on Sunday. And they found that this was a necessity because it helped create priorities and the chores did get done. Today our life is extremely different. If we look at our washing, we know that washing is entirely different today from back then. And when we come to ironing, things have changed very much. In looking back on your early childhood or hearing stories from your mother or your grandmother, how was their wash day and ironing chores different from yours today?
Well, when my mother did the wash, there was me, 4 sisters, and then 4 brothers. But I remember one day coming home from school and she was on the pulley. We used to have pulleys from the porch because we lived on the 3rd floor.
You hung your wash outside.
She hung the wash outside, and on this line were all these overalls that the boys wore that all us girls were wearing at the time. The jeans of today were the overalls of yesterday, and we always used to wear them, never to school. I went to Catholic school, so we had to wear skirts.
Uniforms.
Yeah. No uniforms, just skirt and top, But that it astounded me to listen to her, washing all those jeans.
Right, and you are the oldest of 16, if I remember correctly. And your mother had quite a bit of wash.
16 kids.
Wow. Right. How about you, Marion? Did you remember anything?
I think with my mom, we lived on the 2nd floor of a 2-family house, and we had in the kitchen, because there was no other place to put the washing machine, and it was right by the sink. Mm-hmm. And you did the laundry first, you washed it, and then you drained the water into the sink, and then you brought it back for the rinse, and then you had the wringer. And I remember distinctly helping Mom because the wash was so heavy to put it up to the wringer, so I would be the one that would be guiding it, and as I guided it up, my hand got caught. And luckily, by that time, they had the wringers where if you got your hand caught, it opened.
Yeah. Right.
So I didn't lose half my hand, but totally different.
Yes.
And then I remember my son, because my youngest son, he was helping me do the laundry, and poor Bob, he was, okay, Ma, I'll put it through, and his little hand went through, and
You thought you were the worst mother in the world. And Elfie, how about you?
We never had a machine.
Oh, you did.
I had a brush and a scrubbing board, and I was living in a 4-story home.
In
house.
Vienna, Austria.
And we had we called it washing kitchen in the basement, and we had to go 5 floors up in the attic to hang up the clothes. Then we had a wicker basket with the clothes, and a wicker basket for the clothespins. And I don't know what I did with the colored ones, because they could not be with the white ones. And we had to boil the white clothes.
You had to boil the water.
We had like a brick oven, and the kettle was inside, and overnight they were in the water, the clothes, and then you brushed them, and then you boiled them, and then you rinsed them.
didn't you go like this?
Yeah, when it came out.
Just like in the
with
picture.
The picture.
With the scrubbing board, yeah. But first you have to brush it that the dirt comes out, and then you have to boil it that more dirt comes out.
Oh my
Then
God.
you have to stick and bring the clothes out of that
Oh
boiling
my
water.
gracious! And I thought it was very hard growing up.
Yeah, really.
No, we had no machine.
Well, I remember when I went to Poland, they told me that my grandmother used to go down to the river and they used stones.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
No, I didn't go that far back.
Hopefully not.
I know.
Hopefully not. Well, it's kind of interesting to think now today everything is automatic. Put the clothes in, push the button, and
Yeah.
walk away. How about ironing? Was there anything different or unusual about that chore, Marion?
Well, I remember you had to have the clothes sprinkled before we could iron it, and it had the sprinkle bottle with the little holes in top, and then you sprinkled it, and you just had a flat hot iron. There was no steam or anything on the iron, and I remember my mom having her iron up all day long. I don't remember it ever being put away.
She did. And when the clothes were too wrinkled, we didn't fold them and put them in the basket. We'd have to put them like in the freezer or the refrigerator,
Right,
so
the
they would get
refrigerator.
cold and kind of damp.
Well, can we carry on this interesting conversation? We have to take a short break and we'll be right back. Well, we were talking about washing and ironing, and we're finding that we really have some interesting stories. Now, Elfie, you were beginning to tell us about your ironing experience in Austria.
Yeah. In the first apartment, we didn't have gas. In the second apartment, we upgraded it. We had gas, so naturally we had a gas iron. You connect the hose to the gas line and bring the hose into the iron, light it, and iron.
A lit fire in an iron.
Yes, and then you put it down and go move the clothes or the sheet or whatever you iron, and then go again and set it up, and then move it again, set it up.
Sounds like you have to go to school to learn how to iron.
No iron sheets.
Oh, God. Well, do you iron sheets? Or did you
No,
iron sheets?
We
back then?
had to
sheets.
iron sheets.
Did you iron
We had
sheets?
linen. Everything was made out of linen. The underwear was ironed too. Some
God.
people even ironed the socks.
I did.
No, I didn't go that far.
No.
I didn't go that far.
Nowadays, we have wash and wear.
Right, right.
Yeah,
you
but
do everything.
this didn't exist by me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Everything was made out of linen, and you have to iron linen.
Oh, yes, I know that. Now, you were talking about curtains at what time? We didn't iron curtains. What did we do with them?
We had, down in the basement of our home, Mom had a huge curtain stretcher, and it had all little nails come through.
Yeah.
So the whole thing all the way around was nails. And you took your curtain, and usually they were starched, and you
Yeah.
pinned them on piece by piece, and then once they dried, you took them off in a certain order, and they literally could stand on their own.
they could. Yeah.
That is so interesting. I remember doing that now.
My mother used to send them out because we didn't have a stretcher. And every so often, she'd take all the curtains down, wash them, and then send them out.
And that was a once a year, I'm sure,
And that
situation.
was once a year, maybe once every 2 years. You know? But, I mean, but that was it. But I never did that.
Right. Well, I think we all participated in some sort of strange washing and ironing. And there's varying viewpoints when it comes to washing and ironing. This one woman, Keely Hawks, she said, I love washing and ironing. You name it. I find it very therapeutic. But Phyllis Diller, she hit the nail on the head. She says, I'm 18 years behind in my ironing. I buried a lot of it in my backyard.
That's for sure.
Okay, we know in the past that chores were relegated basically to certain days to maintain a semblance of order. But let's go just a little bit further. We talked about washing and ironing. What about mending and also doing kitchen work? If we can remember, with sewing, there were various things there. We had darning and the pedal machine.
I had that machine with the foot pedal.
You did.
They
Okay,
taught us in school.
okay, that was...
We had to sew a dress or a skirt.
And you used a treadle machine. You were lucky. Talking with Marion one time, since we both come from the same school district, so to speak,
Right.
we had to do it by hand, right?
Oh, that too. The fancy stitches. You had to pull out 3 or 4 threads, and then you go with the needle in the thread and take 2 or 3 together, and then you leave a little room, and then 3 or 4 on the other side. Those are the fancy stitches.
Uh-huh. How about you? You didn't do any darning.
No.
Did you do darning with all the children?
we did sewing.
Oh, sewing.
There was no such thing as darning.
I did.
No, I didn't. No, there were so many of us.
Yeah, right.
That did nothing fancy.
Yeah, right.
If you had a hole in your sock, you sewed it up, and that was, and then you'd have
A line.
No, you have to fill out the place. You have to go up and down and up and down, turn it around, and do the same thing on the other side.
That's why they had the
It looked
darning egg.
gorgeous.
Yes,
We had the darning egg that went through the sock
yeah, but we
inside
didn't
out.
have that either.
Well, once I used a regular hard-boiled egg. We didn't have we didn't have a darning egg, and I had to mend those socks. I mean, you didn't throw things out back then.
No,
No,
you
not
didn't.
at
But
all.
we had everything with seams.
Now, have you maintained any of your ironing or mending?
At home, I haven't seen my iron in probably 10 years.
Okay.
There is just no ironing.
You're in Phyllis Dilla's camp.
I'm with Phyllis Diller.
I got to iron, volunteered to iron my grandsons. They would call me and say, Grandma, I've got a dance or I've got a party, and Mom doesn't have an ironing board. Could you iron my shirts?
how
So that would
nice.
be, so I had the big one, and then I just have one of
the
those
small ones.
small portable
right,
ones.
yeah.
But
We used to
very
have them in the
rare.
wall at one time.
Oh, yes, we had them, yeah.
Well, now let's go to the kitchen. We know in the kitchen that was a very interesting time. They did a lot of things
God.
back then, the churning of butter and that. How has the kitchen changed from back then? What are your experiences
Well, my
there?
mother always made bread. The way we were raised, she'd take the bread and she'd make buns, little buns, and we used to call it cock and che in Gaelic, and we thought that was cake.
Oh.
Because it was made small and with butter.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all I remember my mother ever making was bread. She never made pies or anything like that.
Right,
no.
great.
Or
Well-
cakes.
I don't know any pie.
Yeah.
We don't have pie.
You don't
We-
have pie?
No. We have cake and fruit on the bottom or on the top, but the cake is in
In
one
between,
yeah.
lump.
right. Well,
Yeah.
my gracious, I'm getting hungry listening to it. Well, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back for the next section. Well, we've talked about several different things, but let's take a look now at cleaning. I think our cleaning has really taken a different viewpoint from the past to now. What, in your estimation, is the greatest step forward from the past to now in cleaning? Thinking way back, what do you think is the best thing that has ever happened?
Well, I think getting wall-to-wall carpeting, where we didn't have to scrub around the rug on the floor. Yeah, that was...
I didn't have any carpet, so the best thing was for me not to go on my hands and knees. I couldn't do that no more. So
Okay.
you make a towel wet or a rag, put it around the broom, and wipe the floor.
Oh, okay.
We had the parquet floor.
Parquet floor,
Parquet.
yeah.
Parquet.
Yeah.
We had linoleum
right.
that
yeah.
looked like carpeting. So Mama was with the mop and cleaning it and everything. But
Well, Swiffer is a good thing.
oh yes,
Swiffer,
Nowadays.
yeah. Or a cleaning lady.
You know what? You're a woman after my own heart. No, it
Yeah.
has really, I can remember getting down on my hands and knees, Elfie, and, I used to pad my knees,
Yeah.
to get away from getting them hurting, but...
That was something. And, a 6-room apartment when you're doing all the... I had 2 operations on my hands from ringing out.
ringing,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
We only had 2 rooms, a kitchen and a living room, bedroom, and everything together.
Oh, well, you didn't have 16 kids either.
No, we only were 2 and my mom.
Oh, no dad?
Well, with the war years and everything, so
Yeah.
it was a different situation then.
Yeah.
But I think the vacuum, to me,
Oh, yeah.
is one of the best things that ever happened.
When I had my first vacuum cleaner here, I said to my husband, I don't know why this vacuum cleaner doesn't work anymore. It doesn't want to suck up anything. He said, did you change the bag? I said, what bag?
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was something
Yeah.
in what I had to take out.
Well, now they come bagless, but
Yeah.
even then,
Yeah, right, right.
even
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they have to be emptied
You
out.
have to
so-
empty out the...
The
I like the
tube, yeah.
little ones that for steps and things you don't have to drag the big thing. You just take that little one and the crumbs and everything off. They're great.
Goes back to a cleaning lady.
Okay, I think we all agree that was the
We're
best.
going to go for the cleaning
We're
lady.
going to go
Yeah,
for the cleaning
definitely.
lady. But, the scrubbing of everything with the brush and everything, and then
Yeah.
going with the mop. My mother used to think that the mop never, ever got the floor clean. I mean, you had to get down,
down on your hands and knees, yeah.
I mean, that was a definite
That was it,
thing that
yeah.
had to be done. And you mentioned the rugs, but the rugs was such a collector of
Dust,
dust
and dirt.
Yeah, but you had to go down outside, put it over the
No,
barn.
not the tack down carpeting.
Oh,
The regular
Yeah, but
flooring.
I remember, Elfie, yes.
beat the thing out of it.
No, I
Right,
didn't.
sort of
Right,
like with a
right.
big
We didn't
tennis
have that.
racket. You'd hang it over the
Yeah.
line and then you'd hit
Smack it, yeah.
the
Yeah.
rug to
Oh,
get
we
the
had a
dust.
carpet beater,
Right, okay.
but we didn't have a carpet. You know what she used it for? You know what she used it for?
What?
For the kids.
Ooh.
Oh, that wouldn't fly today.
Board of Education, right?
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't.
Do you know, we've gone back to vinegar and water
For the windows. Yes,
and
yes.
cleaning now, because got away from all the chemicals that are in everything.
You know, that's another thing. I think we had a purer type of life
Yeah.
in the early days, soap and water, and now I think we're trying to get back to
Right,
that.
baking soda we use, vinegar
Oh, yeah.
we use.
Vinegar. Yeah.
Right. And I think the people that are very concerned about the environment, they're doing that also.
Well, even babies with all these disposable diapers, and where, you know, when I was having babies, we washed every day.
Right.
You know, that was it.
It brings back another thought. Do you have any special day for doing chores now, or do you spend your time catching up on Sunday everything you didn't do during the week?
No, whenever I feel like it, I do it.
Yeah. Same with the
Okay.
laundry. Same thing.
Well, we're going to take a little deviation here, something ecologically, to show you a little shortcut from a tradition that many people have at this time of the year, is using deviled eggs. But there is a little trick that'll make it so pretty. If you take Kool-Aid and put the Kool-Aid into a cup, and then add 2/3 a cup of water,
That's the color.
the color orange, and then after you hard boil your eggs and take the yolks out, if you drop it in and just leave it there, then make your favorite filling of
Oh, look at
deviled
that.
eggs. You can have a very, very colorful
Pretty.
plate for Easter.
Do you take the yolk out before
Oh yes,
you
you
drop
take
it?
the yolk out and then you mash it up and put your own flavorings.
Yeah, but before you throw it in the water.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely, yeah. See,
Oh.
here it is.
Oh, look at that. It's
And
does
then
that do to your
you can also
Yeah.
take. This is a hard-boiled egg. You've got the hard-boiled egg. You can
Yeah.
put that in. I love this is blueberry.
That's
comes out so
beautiful.
pretty.
And that's
And this
pretty.
is a shelled egg. I could eat it.
Oh, you're kidding.
You can dye them, and it's, good. And then when you're finished with this, add water, a little bit of sugar, and drink it. And you're in business. I mean, it's a very ecological.
This is really something.
This is nice.
I can't believe
Well,
it. Just
we live in a
Kool-Aid.
very fast-paced world, and for all the good this digital age and all the conveniences that we have, our life has become more hectic than less. And Jim Goodwin said, the time to relax is when you don't have time for it. I want to thank each and every one of you for sharing your thoughts here. And as the saying goes, I'm so glad that you never forgot what you all remembered, because the past is something that some people do forget. And may we see you all at the Barn of Schaumburg, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for
Thank
listening.
you. Have a nice day.